Hi, welcome to NerdChat Spotlight. My name is Connor Owens, and today we're going to be taking you through a little history of the Hulk. Just so we're all clear, we're going to be talking about the Bruce Banner Hulk, not the current one, Amadeus Cho. We'll probably talk about him in another video. But the reason that we wanted to talk to you about the Hulk today was to help give a little context and explain what's going on with him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now, and kind of tell you what he's going to be doing in Thor Ragnarok. So stick around to the end of the video and we'll get into that. As far as beginnings, the Hulk made his first appearance in Incredible Hulk #1, which released in 1962, created by Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. After taking some inspiration from things like Frankenstein and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, they wanted to create a character that was more monster than man. Fun side note, the Hulk was originally gray, but the inking process they were using to print comics at the time made it difficult to keep the gray consistent from panel to panel. So ultimately they made the change to turning him green. In the first volume of the series, teenager Rick Jones drove onto a testing site where they were testing a gamma bomb. In an attempt to save Jones, Banner pushed him into a trench to avoid the blast, but was not able to make the same getaway himself. When the bomb went off, Banner was caught in the blast, being exposed to huge amounts of gamma radiation. Originally, after being exposed, it would cause Banner to turn into the Hulk only at night, kind of like a rage werewolf. But over time, it was triggered by intense emotion and adrenaline rushes, hence the Hulk's classic phrase, "You won't like me when I'm angry." Hulk went on to become a founding member of the Avengers, but by the third issue of that run, he had left the team due to being too uncontrollable and was eventually replaced by Captain America after the team found him frozen in the ice. Hulk's origin is not very long. It can be summed up to got hit with radiation, now he's a monster sometimes, but Hulk's real story is his internal struggle. The Hulk's position in the Marvel Universe has come into question a lot over the years, whether or not he's a hero or a villain, whether the destruction he causes is worth the people he saves. Due to the constant battle for control between Banner and the Hulk often comes off as monstrous, even to the point where the Illuminati, which is a real group in the Marvel Universe of Marvel's smartest heroes, eventually made the decision to send the Hulk off planet permanently so that the Earth would be ultimately safer without him. Eventually, of course, he comes back. The Hulk is a being of unlimited power, but he doesn't look like a man the same way that Superman does. Superman's looked on as a hero because his unlimited power is tightly controlled and he looks like a person. People can relate to him. The Hulk, on the other hand, at first glance is a terrifying monstrosity. Not fully in control of his power, doesn't fully understand what the damage that he can do. It took a long time for him to finally be admired as a hero by the population for these sort of reasons. Most of his stories revolve around him being hunted by the army, specifically the Hulkbuster unit led by General Thunderbolt Ross. And even more complicatedly, Ross is the father of the love of Bruce's life, Betty Ross. Bruce has got it pretty rough. The Hulk has sort of a ridiculous long list of powers, like a lot of superheroes from back at the beginning there. A couple of them he has all the time, some of them show up once or twice. We'll try to list off as many as we can here. Obviously, the Hulk has super strength. It's sort of his hallmark. The more intense his fury, the stronger he gets. The more adrenaline flowing through his system, the more damage he can do. And there seems to really not be any upper limit on that. Hulk uses his strength in a lot of interesting ways. He uses it to jump huge distances. He can clap his hands together and create shockwaves that knock people, trees, animals, some buildings far backwards, great distances. He can even run at super speed to a point, but there is a weird limiting factor to his speed in that he's so strong that when he pushes on the ground, it can pulverize beneath him, leaving him no ability to push forward off of it. So that's sort of where the upper limit on his super speed comes from. He's just too strong. He has an extreme healing factor on top of his invulnerability, only being harmed by the most ridiculously powerful villains, heroes, and weapons, like Thanos, other Hulk characters, or Wolverine's adamantium claws. He can regenerate and even regrow limbs at an amazing rate. Now on to some more of his odd powers. He can breathe underwater. He can hold his breath for up to a year. I don't know why he would need both of those. Maybe traveling through space or under lava or something. He can see and talk to ghosts. He's supposed to be immune to mind control, but some writers seem to forget that. He's able to home in on New Mexico specifically, resist dark magic, and has even punched his way into the spiritual dimension. Yeah. Getting to some of the important reads, Planet Hulk, which I mentioned before, which is where the Illuminati sent Hulk off planet. World War Hulk, which is where he makes his way back to Earth to take his revenge for being sent away. He plays a pretty big part in the Old Man Logan series, which is the new movie that Logan is loosely based off of, but don't expect to see Hulk in that movie. You can also get your fill of Hulk in the animated series Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and Avengers Assemble, along with a handful of his own animated movies, Hulk vs. Wolverine and Hulk vs. Thor, if you're not particularly into reading the comics. So, what's going on with the Hulk in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? You may have noticed he hasn't had his own movie in a while, and there is a reason for that. The current theory is that his rights are a little wonky because Universal Studios owns his rights, but only in movies that are specifically about Hulk alone. So they're kind of trying to weave Hulk's story into the background of other Marvel movies so that they don't step on anybody's toes there. So that's why he's going to be a large part of Thor Ragnarok. I think we're going to see a lot of pieces of Hulk's story broken up and put into other Marvel movies. So while we might not get a Hulk exclusive movie for a while, I don't think we're going to be shorted on the Hulk. That's all we got, guys. Thanks for sitting through the video. We really appreciate it. Hope you learned a little something about the Incredible Hulk today. If there's any other comic book heroes or villains that you're interested in learning about, leave us a note in the comments and we'll try and get to it. So thanks so much for watching. Have a good one. Hello, small cat. I won't exploit you for YouTube views, even if Josh will.